heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
What's up, everybody? It's Josh, aka RockinRaynor, and I'm bringing you another draft. We opened a pretty good pack here. So I think there's definitely three really good. Well, probably there's four really good cards in this pack. So Dream Stealers are rare. It's a 2 and a black with Menace. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player discards that many cards. And it's got Eternalize for 4 and 2 black. So that card, it hits hard when it comes back. You know, as the 1/2 with Menace, at least it has some evasion. You can try to take away some card advantage from your opponents. Ominous Sphinx, it's a 4/4 for 5. That already is good. And then whenever you cycle or discard a card, target creature your opponent controls gets -2/-0. Resolute Survivors is great in a red-white build. And then Puncturing Blow is just a very good removal spell. I have not played a lot of black in the format, so I want to try it out. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Dream Stealer here. I could definitely see going for any of the other cards, though. They're all real good. Alright, so here we've got some good white cards. Black, not so much. Desert Hold is probably the best one. It's 3 mana, and it basically just stops anything. So I think that's where we're going to be looking. Otherwise, Quarry Beetle is decent. Enters battlefield, may return a target land from your graveyard to the battlefield. So if you're doing any of the cycling deserts, that's definitely a good card to go after. Also, Ronus of Stalworth is a fine 2-drop. Oketra's Avenger is probably the best white 2-drop in this pack. There's probably some better ones in Amonkhet, but in Hour of Devastation, this is just really good. I'm going to go ahead and take the removal, though. I think that's the right move. Alright, so here, Torment of Scarabs is it's a decent card. I have not gotten to play too much of it, and I don't think I'm going to play it this time either, unless it comes back around to us. A Puncturing Blow at pick 3 is pretty good sign. Dauntless Haven is also really strong. It's super good in any of your exert cards. Rune Rat's fine, it'll come back around though. Lethal Sting, I'm kind of down on Lethal Sting right now. I thought Lethal Sting was going to be much better than it is. The -1/-1 kind of hurts in this format where you've got a lot of 1 toughness creatures. So I'm really looking between the Dauntless Haven or going into red with Puncturing Blow. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the Dauntless Haven though. I'm a really big fan of this card. Alright, and so if we had gone with Puncturing Blow, we would have been okay with Resolute Survivors. We still might be. Dream Stealer might just be, you know, the dream that passed. Otherwise, we could look to take a Lethal Sting here. As I said, I'm kind of down on that card, though. I don't know if I've drafted a red-white deck. I might have drafted one red-white deck. So I might just go ahead and try to move into that. I do know that people are big fans of red in this format, which, I mean, red is kind of my thing anyway. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab the Resolute Survivors. Let's see where we at here. Alright, so Unconventional Tactics is great in a zombie deck. In a regular deck, it's just it's a fine play. I do like Gilded Ceradon, especially if we have a desert. Steadfast Sentinel, I'm not super excited by. Yeah, this pack is just not great. I'm tempted to just take the desert. We don't know that we're red yet, so Gilded Ceradon's just not great, and it wants a desert anyway if you're going to play it. I'm just going to grab the desert here, because now these cards are really screaming at me that I want to get them. So maybe we will go black. Torment of Venom is a fine card. There's a couple Rampaging Hippos, which we could definitely look to go into green at this point. Because those are some late hippos. Otherwise, the Gilded Ceradon is here again. Trying to decide if Mummy is just better. The 2-drops in this format are super important to have. This could be really the wrong play, but I think I'm going to take the Mummy. I know if you're aggressive in this format, you want to get those premium 2-drops, and so I'm going to go ahead and grab Kenra here. Rune Rat is fine, but you know, if we look like we're going to be black-white, maybe heading into the zombie deck at this point in time is really a nice little thing if we can get some synergies going. Alright, so here's a zombie bird. Jiru with eyes open, I'm not real excited about. It enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a planeswalker card, reveal it, and put it in your hand. If a source would deal damage to a planeswalker, prevent one of those. So about the only way that this card is actually good is if you end up opening a Gideon in Amonkhet. That's about it. So yeah, let's look at some zombies here, I think. Otherwise, I could see doing the Rot Beast, but I like this one. Alright, so Grizzly Survivor somehow is not a zombie. Good to know. I'll take the flyer. It looks like the Resolute Survivor's ship has passed. Flyers are good in the format, just like they are in most formats. I like the camel here. It's not super exciting, but it's an earlier play. Marauding Bone Slasher is fine, but I'd rather get that after we have more zombies. Also, another Carrion Screecher, which the fact that it's coming around this late means that hopefully we'll be able to pick some up next pack also. I just want the early cards. Yeah, now I'll go ahead and I'll grab this Torment of Scarabs. I do like the Desert of the Glorified, but let's try and make this work. And Steadfast Sentinel it's certainly playable. It's not a super powerful card. All right, Grizzly Survivor, you can go to the board. If this were a zombie, I'd certainly play it. All right, so it looks like we're firmly looking at a black-white deck. We didn't get a lot of late white cards, but we did get some good black ones late. All right, so Wildfire Eternal is not enough to make me look to switch. Wildfire Eternal is the 3 and a red for a 1/4 with a flick 4. It's actually pretty good in a blue-red deck. I have played it before, and it was fine. When it attacks and isn't blocked, you can play it instant or sorcery without paying for it. If Grounger of Souls were a zombie, I would definitely be looking to go for that, maybe. Claim to Fame. Yeah, that's not exactly what we're going for. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and pick up the 2-drop. We'll look to try to be like a aggressive zombies build. Otherwise, Disposal Mummy, I'd be glad to see that come back around to us. But we just want to get the early plays. Alright, so oh god, dang it. So Unraveling Mummy, Torment of Venom, a Cursed Horde, they're all really good. Ifnir Deadlands, I just want to take this whole pack. I think I'm going to take the Unraveling Mummy. I think it's just a little bit better. And it's in our colors. Torment of Venom, Kenra Eternal, Accursed Horde, Ifnir Deadlands. These are all really good cards for our deck. Unfortunately, we can't go for most of them. So we'll take the Mummy. Hopefully we can pick up some more. Alright, so that's a zombie wall. Not quite what we're going for, though. There's another Puncturing Blow. We could have got a bunch of Puncturing Blows. So here, the Kenra Eternal is fine, but I think I'm going to go for the Shefet Dunes. It's a desert, so it turns on any desert cards that we end up with. Like Retro Camel right now is a desert, or it's Desert Matters card. Desert's Hold is a Desert Matter card. We'll take the Shifet Dunes and then look to wheel the Kenray Eternal. Ooh, Obelisk Spider is really good. I don't know if it's good enough for us to splash for here. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take the removal spell, and then hopefully we can get like an Aven to come back around. So Torment of Venom, put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature. Its controller loses 3 life unless it sacrifices another permanent or discards a card. So it works well with Torment of Scarabs. Oh man, if we had opened this in our opening pack, how fun would this have been? Frayne Sanity, it's the mill card. Definitely a sweet one, but we'll just go with the boring 5 mana 3/3 flyer that gains 3 life. Outside of that, in this pack, there's not a whole lot for us. Yeah, the wall is definitely a good pickup if you have a desert themed deck that's looking to go late game. We're trying to be a little bit more aggressive though. Alright, and then we get this where we have really nothing for us. I think I'll take the wall here. If we end up with a couple more deserts, we might end up playing it just as a way to ping our opponent's late game. Alright, so it looks like our colors have kind of dried up here. I'm a big fan of Frontline Devastator. We're certainly not playing red though right now. Yeah, maybe just go for another wall. I do like the defeats. They're great in the for a sideboard card, but we're still looking for playables right now. Alright, so we did pick up another Kenray Eternal. There is a desert here, but yeah, we'll look for more low zombie drops. And here we'll take the Disposal Mummy. Yeah, I still don't think Claim is really worth it. We don't have a super exciting 2-drop that we really need to play a card to get it back. Otherwise, Scrounger of Souls I do like. There we go. Torment of Venom comes back around. So the Kenray Eternal came back around also. I think the Torment of Venom is just a little bit too good to go for the 2-drop. Alright, we'll grab a Claim to Fame. We're not going to play the Moaning Wall. Gotta get us a full art land for our deck. Crick of Condemnation. I doubt we want to play it. And then we'll grab a full art mountain. So the deck's definitely coming together. There are some good zombie payoff cards in Amonkhet that we'll be looking to pick up. It's generally the 2-drops. The 2-drop zombies are really what makes these decks, I feel. Yeah, that's a Glorybringer. Mama didn't raise no fool. I'm gonna take that because I feel like it's got to be it's got to be some money at this point. Plus, I do not want to play against it. And even though we are in a league, a lot of times at least your first match and maybe even your second match is going to come from your pool. You know, if you just think about the fact that you're playing with a bunch of people, or you're all drafting at the same time, you end at the same time, and you start looking to play. I'm going to take the Glorybringer. I just absolutely don't want to play against it. Otherwise, I think the Cursed Minotaur, we can maybe see that come around. Innoketra's Name will be a good pickup also. Alright, so we do have a Blighted Bat here, which gives us a little bit of reach. I also don't mind the Impeccable Timing. Doom Dissenter is okay. This might be a decent deck for a Throne of the God Pharaoh, but those generally come around. I'm looking at this Evolving Wilds here and wondering about Glorybringer. I just don't see us being able to splash for it. So we'll take the bat. Ah, there's a Bone Picker. So things are... Even though we had to waste our first pick, these are some decent pickups. The Bone Picker, it's not a zombie, but it can be a 1 mana 3/2 flyer with Death Touch. So hard to go wrong with that. I do want to pick up a Forsake the Worldly before the end of this pack. Trespasser's Curse. I wonder how good if we just go Trespasser's Curse and Torment of Scarabs. Probably not great, but who knows. Alright, so there's a Forsake the Worldly, but there's also a Miasmic Mummy. So at least the Mummy comes in as a zombie. We don't need to do any extra tricks to get it there. Yeah, I don't know that I really want that though. I might just grab the Forsake the Worldly. There's definitely some enchantments that you want to be able to deal with in this format. There we go. Wayward Servant. Damn. This is another pack where, you know, it's the cards we want. Wayward Servant plus Cartouche in the same pack is just very unfortunate. I think the Wayward Servant is higher upside, even though I think the Black Cartouche actually became one of the best cards in Amonkhet by the end of its time in play. But Wayward Servant is just definitely one of the cards that we're looking for. Dispossess is not something that we're looking for. Devoted Krame is probably a fine card, even though it doesn't. It's not a zombie, but you can exert it, and as it attacks, when you do, return target creature with convert mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to your battlefield. We do have six 2-drops right now. They're all decent enough. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I think I might just grab the Scorched Desert here. Might help us just get a little bit of damage through. Also, if we end up playing the Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs, we do need more deserts to be able to ping with them. I could understand doing the Hone Kopesh though too. Yeah, I think I need the desert though right now. Alright, there we go. A Cartouche of Solidarity. Definitely a decent pickup right now for us. Outside of that, not really interested in any of these cards. Trespasser's Curse is not what we're looking to do. There's the Inoketra's name, so there's a big payoff card for us. We definitely want to roll with that. And if we could pick up probably one more zombie, I'd be real happy. It's not a zombie, but it's Doom Dissenter. Otherwise, Throne of the God Pharaoh might be worthwhile. We are a pretty aggressive deck, it looks like. May not need the Forsake the Worldly in the main deck. I'm going to try the Throne. I don't know that I'll play it yet, but I feel like it's better upside. Yeah, so we'll grab the Trespasser's Curse. I doubt we'll play it. And we did get a Hone Kopesh anyway. So that's good to see. We're not going to be activating this Faith, but just in case. Oh, and the Sun-Scorched Desert came back to us too. Alright, so we're at 24 cards. I could definitely see this being a 16 land deck. So I feel like I'm probably just going to roll with this. Let's go ahead and separate this out. Take a look at it. So we do have some removal. We've got Torment of Scarabs to help us with a later way of winning. We've got quite a few flyers. Yeah, so we've got Dauntless Aven, Bone Picker, Carrion Screecher, 2 Avens, and then Blighted Bat, all flyers to get through. Dream Stealer has Menace, so that helps with that. It does come back as a zombie. So we've got quite a few zombie themes. Unfortunately, we didn't end up with all the best zombie stuff. Had we known we were really going into a black-white zombies, it would have been great to get the 3-mana sorcery in, I think it was the first pack that we saw, but we weren't sure that we were into it yet. Yeah, so I know I'm going to play this desert and this one. I don't know if we're going to play the Sun-Scorched Deserts. They do help us, you know, Shafet Dunes plus Inno Catcher's Name both are able to help us pump all of our guys. I might just try it out with the Sun-Scorched Deserts in there. We do have a couple of full art lands. We'll go ahead and play those for sure too. Yeah, then we'll probably, we want to be a little bit higher swamps, it looks like. So 7, let's go 8 swamps, 6 plains. Seems a little bit low. I might take out one of the Sun-Scorched Deserts. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and I think we'll roll with this. Gonna go ahead and hit save. And now something new that we are doing is I'm adding all the games after the draft, and I'm speeding them up a little bit because there tends to be a lot of downtime, especially in limited games. So I want you to not have to sit through all the downtime. Let me know. It's something new I'm trying to do, so I'm setting it to music, making it go a little bit faster. If some really tough lineup or a long thought process line comes up, I'll try to slow it down and talk my way through it. But for right now, I'm just looking to do a couple of these videos to have you let me know what you think about it, because a lot of times the gameplay, it really tapers off as far as views anyway. But I think the most fun, obviously, is watching the draft. But for those of you that do want to see, I'll be having the gameplay afterwards. And then stick around because I will have a wrap-up afterwards as well. So go ahead and watch the games, check out the wrap-up, and I'll talk to you guys about what I think went well with the deck and what it still needed. So I will see you in the games. Later.
I hope this
Alright, thanks everybody for sticking through the games. So the deck definitely, I mean, we had some bad draws, and that'll happen limited. We missed our mana a bunch in a couple games, so that kind of led to some issues. Overall, I feel like the deck was, the deck had the ability to be very strong. The one card that I feel like I can certainly say I will not play Torment of Scarabs again. At least not in a deck like this. You need a lot of early removal, and I don't know what else, but Torment of Scarabs, we played it how many times? At least 3 games, and every time the opponent just worked around it without issue. And I had heard from people that Torment of Scarabs in draft is not very exciting. It's nothing that good, and people can play around it. You know, it's taking turn 4, which turn 4 should be a really big, impactful move. And turn 4, it really did nothing when we played it. You know, we could have had some better draws around it too, obviously, but I think Torment of Scarabs maybe should be a sideboard card for just those super slow matchups. It was in their main deck, and yeah, it really did nothing good. So I think that's the biggest takeaway I have from this deck. Forsake the Worldly is fine. I mean, you can bring it in for anything. Torment of Venom was good. I liked it. Otherwise, I mean, we had just a real good value deck. You know, we had some issues with our mana. You know, we were running 16 lands, and you know, sometimes you get too many, sometimes you get too little. It just happens. You know, that's variance. That's magic for you. But overall, I think the deck was good. You know, I don't think my play was very bad. I don't think I really messed up too much. Just our draws kind of didn't always come together. So I would be glad to go ahead and draft something similar to this in the future. But I would definitely stay away from Torment of Scarabs. But anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in and checking out the wrap-up. If you haven't already done so, come over and check me out on twitch.tv/RockinRaynor. You can check me out on Tuesday, Thursdays, and weekends. I do play Limited and Standard. You can interact with me a lot. So I think that's the best part about that versus doing YouTube. Otherwise, let me know what you think about the gameplay. You know, we're trying this new thing where it's just faster gameplay with music, and then the wrap-up at the end. So let me know what you think about that. Otherwise, I think that's it. I'll see you later. Peace.
We are heroes tonight.